Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game Not Game podcast. My name is Green, and as always with me, he is Zen and Cyrene.
Are you actually going for the Yoda that we were doing pre-show?
I think I fucked it up.
I thought
Fucked it up, I think I did.
Yeah, before we were recording this, we were kind of riffing on Yoda, and I thought that you were just continuing on that.
That's what I was trying to do, but I realized halfway through, like, how the fuck do you Yoda that sentence? It's too much in my muscle memory. I don't know what I'm actually saying when I enter the podcast. It's just something my mouth knows how to say. So when I tried to, like, actively think about it and turn it around, it was like, didn't work out. Anyway, hi Zen. Zen's my co-host for this podcast.
Hi Green. Green's my co-host for this podcast. Hi Doi Wario. How are you doing?
Doi Wario is the third co-host. And also a Twitch chat viewer. Anyway, yep. You want to talk about Korean VR?
Yes, let's talk about Korean VR. So, my sister just returned from Seoul from a much-deserved vacation. She spent 2 weeks there with my brother-in-law, her husband, who is Korean, or Korean-American. So he speaks fluent Korean, and they had a great time. Hello, Ginger Beer.
Hello, Ginger Beer.
We have mentioned in previous episodes of this podcast that there is this cafe that had a VR experience that I saw when I went to Seoul last year, but I did not do, much to my eternal regret.
Oh yeah, I was pissed. I was like, what are you thinking?
Yeah. So this VR experience, so imagine this, right? It's kind of movable, much like the Disney rides of old, in which you sat in one of those chairs and there's a big screen in front of you and like you're going through a lava mountain or something. If you remember those kinds of amusement rides.
Oh shit! It like tilts around.
Yeah, there's a movable platform of some kind.
Holy shit!
Yeah, this is a full-featured experience, right? But,
damn.
Instead of having a huge screen, they replaced the screen. They don't need that anymore because now we have VR goggles. It's 2017, and so what this is you are on a date with Korean male celebrity, extremely handsome Lee Min-ho. And you're going on this date to this beautiful island called Jeju Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it for many reasons. First of all, I didn't want to pay to have Lee Min-ho hold my hand. And second, Cyrene and I were just really tired and wanted to just go upstairs and drink coffee.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but my sister did, and her husband did too.
Excellent.
So, I can go on a date with Lee Min-ho, Ginger Beer say, so you know who he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You just got to go to Seoul.
Yeah.
You see, go to this. It was at the spa, right?
No, it wasn't at the spa. The spa had its own VR experience. Go figure.
Oh, this is different. Okay.
No, actually, this is kind of an interesting story in itself. Korean cosmetics are a huge thing, mostly in Asia, but now starting in America as well. Right, they're one of the biggest cosmetics industries in the world. So
is this the shit that Cyrene was talking about with like the snail goo and stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Excellent. Okay.
yeah. Just to give some context to that, there are some snail mucus treatments that are supposed to be good for your skin. Ginger Beer says that you have been to Seoul. That was 2 years ago. Okay, so you know where this is. This is the district of Myeongdong, which is where all the shopping for cosmetics is. And so a lot of these cosmetics shops have big stores, including one called Innisfree that has a flagship store in Myeongdong. And this is where this date with Lee Min-ho is taking place in the VR thing. And it has its own cafe as well, right? With where it's very pretty, you can just sit there and drink coffee and look down. It's great.
Is it like covered in pictures of the celebrity?
No, actually. That'd be kind of fun.
It really should be.
No, you know what? No, although there's this guy whose name is Song Joong-ki, whom you cannot escape him. And so there is no way you can escape him. His face is everywhere. I know it makes it sound like an Orwellian nightmare with a pretty boy, but his advertisements with his face are everywhere, basically. Like,
I was about to say that just sounds like fucking not Brave New World, the really popular Orwellian novel. God damn it.
1985.
1984.
2017. Wait, no,
1984 is in.
Oh my god, okay, I'm so bad.
We're the worst. Both of us are the worst. I kept on wanting to say fucking like Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451.
420.
420.
Yeah.
6969. I could not think of the correct fucking dystopian novel name. Anyway, let's stop talking about how shitty we are at Fahrenheit 69.
I like 420 better. You know, you just when you burn the books, you just throw some weed onto it.
Blaze it. Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
that's my NaNoWriMo novel right there. I have some catching up to do.
But yeah, the point is, these cafes are just emblematic. Are you okay?
I just really want to write for Fahrenheit 420 now.
Do it. Fahrenheit 420.
I'm also upset I won't live until 6969. Can you imagine? All of fucking future Twitter is just going to be nice all day. All year.
Wait.
In the year 6969?
You mean people saying nice?
Yeah. Nobody's going to say any words that aren't nice in the year 6969.
Yeah, everyone's finally going to be nice.
Exactly. Nice.
Nice. So, yeah. So my sisters went and did this VR experience with Lee Min Ho, and yeah, nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then it ended with 69. No.
Oh man, you gotta pay extra for that.
Yeah, you gotta pay.
The happy ending VR experience.
The happy ending VR experience. It actually will happen. I'm pretty sure Pornhub or some big porn producer has done something like this already.
Oh my god. Wait until there's loot boxes in porn.
Loot boxes in porn.
Holy shit.
You open it, it's the wrong porn star.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just like there are common porn stars that are kind of, not great, and then there's the rare ones that are a little better. You get up to the epics and legendaries. Those are really good.
The comment when you open it, god damn it, it's Ron Jeremy again.
Yeah, fucking Ron Jerry every time. God damn it, it's Peter North. Anyway. Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish your fucking story now.
It's okay. Only a bronze dildo this time. Open this chance for a chance of boobs or dicks. Oh, okay.
That's the high risk porn gambling.
Yep, high risk, high reward. I guess. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the VR experience. So you go on this date, and it's a VR helmet, so you can look around, right? So my sister said she looked next to her, and there was some Lee Min Ho holding her hand. Then they go cycling in this island. I think I remember them saying there's like a wind machine to to simulate the cycling with the chair moving, like I was explaining earlier, like in this old Disney rides. Yeah. My brother-in-law was saying that he looked down and he was wearing a skirt. You're really inhabiting another person.
Oh man, I wonder how they shot that.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but
it must have been like if somebody just had like a fucking Google Street View camera on their head.
You gotta
somebody really short.
You have to wonder what Lee Min Ho thought of the whole thing,
Yeah.
Oh, from his perspective.
I don't know. I'm sure he knew exactly what was up. I bet he didn't find that weird at all.
Well, Gingerbeer, now you mentioned wanting a YouTube video about showing people going on this ride. Well, here you go. Actually, it has a camera in an image showing Korean women on their VR cameras and their reactions to being next to Lee Min Ho, very
and they
intimately
have
close.
Pulse meters. It's the future of Twitch.
It's the future of Twitch.
It is.
It's the future of Saturday.
Horror game streamers and let's players, or it's becoming more common for them to use heart rate monitors.
That is true. That is true. I think it was Dan's Gaming. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the end of this video, Lee Min Ho says, "I want to go for on your date with you again," and that's it.
And then you get back in line, pay more money, and do it again.
Yeah. You could do that.
No, that's why they need the loot boxes. You gotta buy a loot box that contains another date.
You know, the funny thing though, I think nobody was actually doing it when I was there. I think people are somewhat blasé to the whole thing already, which is kind of crazy to me, but hey.
Huh.
You know.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah,
So, sorry, go ahead.
no, I say they were lazy like me. You were going to say?
Sure. When I was a kid, I was so into those rides that had the moving seats in them. Like, I loved it. I was like, holy shit, this is the future of everything. Like, this is so fucking cool. And the idea of doing that with a VR headset on is actually really attractive to me. Like, that sounds fucking awesome. I wish it was not going on a bike ride with a hot dude, but I'll be honest, I would fucking do it anyway. Like, that just sounds like a really fascinating experience, and I want them to do that with something else.
OMG, that was so cringe.
It's a pretty wild video.
I actually didn't watch the whole thing. I was kind of like, I didn't, yeah. Which is sad, but...
God, it was really good. Like, there's a part where something scary happens and they show the girl getting scared and her heart rate going up. And there's another part where, like, the dude is getting really close to her face and her heart rate goes way up. And, like, you know, it shows people, I'm pretty sure they're actors who are, like, reacting very strongly to this experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was pretty great.
This, I just gotta say this. The whole, like, heart rate thing is I wouldn't say it's a staple, but it shows some Korean variety shows a bit.
Interesting. Okay.
So this isn't, like, extremely new. Like, they would have these competitions in, like, a show called Running Man, in which they would do things like, okay, well, this girl, she has a heart rate monitor attached to her. Let's see which of these guys can make her heart beat the fastest. So,
what?
You know, flirt with her.
Through any means necessary?
To a certain degree. Like, you can't actually... I don't think they actually, like, physically kissed her or anything like that.
Right.
I think.
Sure, but just like, I feel like there are more effective ways than flirting to elevate heart rate.
Oh yeah, they are. Like, just making her, like, you know, this Running Man is not all handsome people. It's actually mostly not.
Okay.
Right? Like, so one way is to make a person just laugh a lot, right?
Interesting. I was thinking scare her.
Yeah, scare her, I guess. It's kind of mean, but yeah, scare her.
I mean, I'm trying to win a game show here, Zen, not fucking, you know, nice guy of the year. I'd hide a balloon and pop it next to her.
That's true. You could do that. That might make her heart rate go up.
I think it would. I think that would probably be the most successful strategy. But there's probably
it would make my heart rate go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. More so than Lee Min Ho.
Yeah, definitely that. Oh man.
Well, if you want to experience this for yourself, go to the Innisfree Cafe in Myeongdong in Seoul. Just fly on over.
Fly on over.
I don't think it'll ever make it to the United States, so that might not be your only choice.
They gotta bring it to TwitchCon next year, dude. Holy shit! Everybody would be so excited to do that. I swear to God, there would be a line out the fucking door to go on that.
Okay, if you're an IRL streamer, this is what you do. You take one of those cameras, you film yourself streaming this, or as you're streaming this, and then you make a VR ride of being somebody being along with you on your IRL stream.
Oh man, that would be pretty good. Yeah, I want it. That's the VR experience I want. I want to like bike side by side with Sebedy.
Oh yeah, I would
through Korea. So Sebedy, by the way, is an IRL streamer. He's the coolest one I've ever seen. He's got a really elaborate camera setup where he bikes through foreign countries. I saw him in South Korea, and you get to just go on his bike ride with him and experience the crazy like bike trip that he did. There's an official tourism thing where you bike all across the country and get stickers, and he was just going on this for days and days, and it was great. Weeks,
it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
It takes about a week. Yeah. And you drive, my god. You bike from Seoul to Busan. So basically from almost where North Korea is. Because Seoul's not that far away from North Korea, unfortunately. Yeah. And then all the way down south.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. It was just really fun to kind of see the countryside from that perspective. So he's a really cool streamer. And man, that would make a really fun VR experience. Not that I think that's gonna happen, but I'd do it.
You know, these are dedicated bike trails. This it's not like a piece of road next to like trucks about to run you over, right? You know, you can get on this bike trail. It follows the river. You just cycle along peacefully for like a week.
Yeah. The purpose of it, I think, is to show off their extensive biking network. You really can every single place just has a really well defined bike trail.
Yep, there are rest stops, there are bike maintenance places, there are restaurants along the way. It's great.
Yeah.
There's a bike trail from Seoul to Busan. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's not just a bike trail; it's a network. But
yeah, I was gonna say it's not just a straight line either. Like it goes all over the place.
Yeah, but you can absolutely bike from Seoul to Busan in like a week or less, even if you are willing to bike for hours.
Yeah, and if you're just going straight there too, it'd probably be a lot shorter. Because 70's path had a lot of backtracking in it.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for real and virtual experiences in South Korea. What would you like to talk about next?
Well, Zen, I found a really remarkable article on Deadspin entitled "Teen Girl Posed for 8 Years as Married Man to Write About Baseball and Harass Women."
Wow.
So this girl, she started when she was 13 years old. When she was 13, she started this Twitter account under the name of Ryan Schultz. Her real name is Becca Schultz, but her pseudonym was Ryan Schultz. And she just pretended to be a dude in his 20s who a 21-year-old is when she started. So this was when she was 13, and she didn't get caught. She did it for 8 years. So at the end of it, he was 29. And like during this whole time, she staged a marriage. She like pretended he was getting married and having kids and shit. And just she posed as a really enthusiastic dude who was into baseball and baseball stats and everything, because she was herself really into baseball, wanted to write about it, felt like as a teenage girl probably nobody would take her serious enough to write about baseball, which, you know, fair play. And this was her solution to that, and she actually ended up being one of the few paid writers at a sports writing place, and had her own column and everything. And she also just kind of fell weirdly into the role of being a dude online. And so she would have weird interactions where she was hitting on women and stuff, and then just getting really uncomfortable with them and graphically describing sex acts to them and stuff. And just like, you know, participating in the real kind of harassment that real dudes in that situation would. What a bizarre story.
It is. So how did they find out?
How did they find out? I think one of the women she was harassing wanted to tell his wife about it, I believe, and started looking into it, and then they were like, his wife isn't real. Also, he's not real. However, he's very similar to this girl who shares his last name, and it kind of went from there.
Wow.
You know, like once you started digging a little bit further into the life that she presented, it became pretty clear what was actually going on. But for 8 years, fucking got away with it.
That is wow.
Yeah, and there was a time when she like felt trapped in her situation and kept on wanting to get out and just delete the account and everything, but she felt like she was in too deep and she couldn't. And also she was kind of hooked on it, you know. She was, you know,
right.
She, as a high school student, got to feel like a successful sports writer. She got to live this weird double life. And so even though she realized it was getting kind of insane and fucked up, she was still like, she couldn't stop. So she was just stuck at it for years. And then finally it all blew up in her face.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand. You know, I'm a 13-year-old boy pretending to be a 35-year-old man on Twitter.
There you go.
So
yeah,
I do
very
understand.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but Yeah, I mean, Ginger Beer brings up a good point, right? If she's getting paid, does she have a bank account under Ryan? Basically, there are all kinds of things that you have to do. Whether, you probably got to talk on the phone at some point to your
Yeah,
employer. Like, how did she get away with all
she
this?
was on a fucking podcast. And people were like, huh, Ryan's voice sounds a little weirdly high, but nobody thought anything of it. They were they just thought he had a weird voice. And yeah, she what happened was they mailed her checks, and she was able to just take those checks to the bank, and because she had the same last name, they just cashed them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's no way. I mean, what if somebody's name was like Smith?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, she gave them. Yeah, she had given BP her actual social security number, and because the tax info was legitimate, and Becca and Ryan shared a last name, her bank cashed the checks for her, is what it says in the story.
Well, I mean, it just snowballed.
Yeah.
Was she a good writer? I mean, was she well regarded as a sports writer, just in terms of her skill and her knowledge?
Yeah, she had a big fan base, and like I said, she was one of the few writers on that website. I can't remember the name of the website. I'm trying to find it. Who Baseball Prospectuses? Baseball Prospectus, I guess is the name of the site. But she was one of the few paid writers on that site. Most of them were volunteers.
I see. Huh. Well, I mean, I'm sure some of her fans feel mad for some reason, I guess, but if she's that good at baseball stuff, then I imagine she might still have a career ahead of her after, like, maybe all of this dies down. I don't know how vehemently fans will react to it, but, some will stick around, maybe.
I really wonder. Yeah, she's definitely got a portfolio now.
Yeah.
It's the thing that blows me away about this story is that she, as a teenage girl who's, like, I'm pretty sure she's straight, too, like, just kind of felt like part of playing the role of a dude in his 20s was harassing women sexually.
Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing to me. That's so fucking bonkers. Like, she never expected to get anything out of it, but she was kind of like on again, off again, flirting with this woman for a long time. And finally, she broke it off with him because he never wanted to meet her in real life. And the reason for that was because she was fucking like a 15-year-old girl at the time.
Right. Like Roy Moore. Excuse me.
Ew.
God. Sorry. Yeah, but that blows my mind as well. The whole, like, it's because she felt like she had to do that to be part of the club, and not too long ago, it was absolutely part of the club.
Totally. Even and like she started doing this 8 years ago. Like, this isn't, it's not as if this whole thing is super recent. She got exposed recently, but like, she started doing this in 2009.
Right.
That's a while ago. That's kind of before a lot of this social justice stuff started blowing up as much as it has recently.
Yeah, that was back when, oh my god, that's when I first joined Twitter under my real name. Like in 2008, 2009, people were still like, oh yeah, follow Friday. Hello, totally. Fellow tweeps. That was a thing.
Yeah, it was a totally different thing. And she was 13 and she managed to navigate all this and like not only continue the facade but actually evolve her 21-year-old persona into a 29-year-old persona who's married and has kids now. Like, right. What? Just, oh my god.
I mean, That's have wild. To applaud that she could manage to do that. I'm also like, my mind's blown by the fact that she felt like she had to harass people, women, in order to do that.
Yeah. God, so strange.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she also solicited and received nude photos from some of these women.
Oh my god. Yep. Okay, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it goes that far though, I mean, man, I don't really know what to think except that that's just wild.
Yeah, at one point this woman yes, Sarah was a woman who she was harassing, and at one point, like Ryan, quote unquote, got really drunk and just started like sending her a bunch of really harassing messages. And it's like, was she actually drunk? Was she pretending to be? Like, what level were we at this point where like she had a drunken breakdown to this woman she was hitting on Twitter?
Well, I
Fucking
suppose
weird.
the next step is to just write a book and explain everything.
Yeah. Oh man, I would read the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. So
I had, Doi always said I had a working VCR player in 2009. Yeah, VCRs. I
yeah,
remember those.
I remember those too. I think my mom still has one.
Yeah, my dad too has one. It's it's good to keep one around just in case for some reason you want to watch like an old home movie or something.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're still making them. Probably like combination VCR DVD players.
I still think they are. I imagine a lot of them. Well, that's not true anymore. Even the foreign markets, and I know this coming from a foreign market, they don't really do VCRs anymore. So
Yeah.
DVDs and VCDs, which were a thing back in like in the year 2000, 1995. But it's still a thing, especially in Africa. I just read this article about Nollywood, and to my eternal shame, I don't remember exactly which country. I think it's Kenya, but VCDs and DVDs are still a big thing there. So that's what that reminds me
Sorry,
of.
what is a VCD?
Oh, I should explain this. Imagine putting movies like just really really bad pixelated like MPEG file,
Okay.
like 600 megs onto a CD.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
VCD.
Gotcha.
And when I was in Malaysia, a lot of movies were distributed this way.
That makes
Right
sense.
after VCR and right before DVDs became popular, and that's how I watched them.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense because it's so much cheaper. Like a VHS
Yeah,
tape, it's a lot of moving parts. Like those are not easy to manufacture compared to discs.
yeah. And the thing is, I remember some of those, and some we bought some which we found out afterwards were obviously pirated, and we know this
yeah.
because they just dragged a video camera into a theater and filmed the movie. So it comes complete with like like the sounds of people like eating or shuffling around.
Yep. I remember getting some of those files off of Kazaa as a
Yep.
teenager.
A lot of the pirated videos back in the days in Malaysia were VCD. That's exactly right. I come from Malaysia, Ginger Beer. I'm not sure if you know this, but that's where I come from.
Interesting. I mean, not
Um,
interesting that you come from Malaysia. I knew that.
It can be
The VCD
sometimes.
because I don't think VCDs were really ever a thing in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of feel like you guys just skip straight to DVD, huh?
We did, yeah. Yeah, because I guess I bet that CD wasn't quite enough space to actually record, or to actually like have a movie that's a high enough quality to make people feel like it's worth it to get rid of their DVD player or their VCR, and get a player that accepts CDs just to get things that look marginally better or maybe even a little worse than a VHS tape.
It was actually better than a VHS tape, but it was much worse than a DVD.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think the only way we got away with it, or they got away with it, is two things, right? First of all, as you said, it's cheaper back then, and then second is that our TVs were worse back then. It's like on a CRT,
Sure.
etc. I know this about you, Zen. Oh, yeah. I'm just kidding around. Yeah.
Ginger beer also comes from Malaysia.
I want to go back someday, but I'm just so busy. And honestly, I want to go to Japan first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I will not go to a maid cafe though, so sorry about that. You
Nah,
can go and
come
find
on.
those experiences elsewhere. Yeah.
Come on, Zen. Take one for the team, man.
Take one for the team. Go to the maid cafe, my
Yeah.
wife.
Go to the raccoon cafe.
Oh yeah, there are those, aren't they?
Yeah. There's a cafe for everything in Japan.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to go to some cafes in Japan. I think I will go to at least one animal one, maybe We'll see.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting to me. I have trouble imagining how the logistics of it work. Like, do they just like really meticulously clean up after the animals? They must, right?
They have to.
Especially if it's
Otherwise
raccoons.
The place... Well, I mean, the raccoons at least clean their own hands. You just have to pick up their poop.
What are they cleaning their hands in? Your coffee?
It's the authentic part of the experience.
Yeah,
right. A raccoon dip a sugar cube.
A raccoon's gonna walk up to you with a piece of food and just dip it in your drink.
Yeah, just give it a biscotti.
Yeah, like that's what raccoons are all about. They just love dipping things in water. That's their goal in life.
Yeah, okay, so this is my concept for a cafe then. Instead of having like a pool of water, you have a pool of coffee. Yeah. Right? And then you give the biscotti to the raccoons and then they'll dip it in for you and then after that you take it from them.
You gotta fight them though. They don't want to give it up.
You gotta fight them.
God, I would totally...
The worst idea I've ever had.
I would love to go to a cafe where they have a stable of raccoons who just constantly are given cotton candy and then go and dip it in water.
Oh no.
They're just in this Sisyphusian nightmare.
Oh man. If that's the case, then you could pay for the cotton candy. It's so sad.
It's like the shittiest. It's the shittiest version of like buying duck food or something. Is buy cotton candy to bait a raccoon into dissolving.
Yeah. It's a sadistic cafe.
The biscotti is free, but you have to wrestle it from raccoons.
No, that's the real business model, right? They don't make money off the biscotti. They have webcams everywhere and a Twitch channel.
Oh yeah,
right?
Totally.
And it's just people watching. It's just viewers watching people fight with raccoons, and then subscribing and giving bits.
Yep. Yeah, you got to make it so something happens when they give bits. Like when they reach a bit goal, then biscotti, like a hatch opens in the ceiling and a bunch of biscotti falls out of it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Next level capitalism right there.
Yeah. This is the future. The future of Japan. Off-site betting on who wins. Yes.
Yes.
When you go in, they give you a number and you have to wear it like you're in a marathon. And people can bet on numbered person versus numbered raccoon. Oh,
this is sounding more and more like a bad knockoff game show from the mid 2000s.
Dude, I wish
like Fear Factor.
I wish that game shows were this cool in the mid 2000s. They were way lamer. Yeah. This would be the best show. I would watch this all the time.
There were some game shows which were really out there. Well, I don't remember. No, there was at least one dating show called Mr. Personality. Do you remember that one?
I remember the name. I never watched it.
It's the one in which, it's kind of like The Bachelorette, right? I think that's the name of the show, the prototypical show.
Yeah.
But all the guys have to wear ugly masks around the woman, and so they're trying to... She's dating them purely on the personality.
Ah, alright. Interesting.
Are you saying Wheel of Fortune is not cool? Wheel of Fortune is like the myth about McDonald's burgers in that it just never ages or rots.
Yeah, also Wheel of Fortune was not a mid 2000s. I mean, it probably was on during that time, but that's not where it comes from. It's an old game
Wheel
show.
of Fortune, I mean, the TVs changed. We moved from CRT TVs to HD TVs for the prices, but it's basically a time capsule from the 80s.
Yeah. Totally.
I've seen that Pat Sajak is a pretty he's not the standard Twitter personality, right? He has a Twitter, but he's pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Sarcastic, acerbic, mimi. He's
okay.
I hate that all of those things are seen as the same thing now, but that's essentially what it is. He's not the standard Twitter celebrity.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because he's squeaky clean on his show. Maybe on Twitter that's where he takes it all out.
There you go. God, I've totally seen this, by the way. Ginger Beer says they saw a dating show where it's a British show where the girl gets to see and inspect the possible guy's naked bodies first before the date. I've totally seen that show. I don't remember where. Somebody linked it on Twitter, I think. But it goes the other way too. The one I saw was a guy inspecting girls' bodies, and it's bizarre. They start out they start from bottom to top. So like first you see the dude's legs and dicks, and then you see their torsos, and then you see their faces, and then they talk.
Do you think that this is the kind of thing that Pornhub should license if it wants to go to Netflix's model of getting original content?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's elimination style. So like so first you see all the dudes' dicks, and then you're like, get rid of that one. Like that one's my least favorite, and it goes like for every stage they get rid of one of them, and then they go on a date with the last one.
Wait, so are the guys actually there live, or
Yeah.
are they looking at?
Yeah, they're in these weird pods with like frosted glass, and they just and they're referred to by color. Like each one has a different color, and the glass just moves up throughout the show. I don't remember the name of it.
Can you? How does it feel to be the guy whose dick gets like eliminated on the first round, though?
Well, Zen, between rounds, they do a little interview with the person who got kicked off. And,
Oh yeah, of course.
and they're like, "Well, obviously I'm disappointed, but basically," and they're all British.
Yeah, it's like obviously I'm disappointed that my dick got humiliated on national TV, but life goes on.
Most of them are like, it was a really positive experience to get out there and do it, even though I fucking got shut down immediately.
When they get eliminated, they get to step out naked and give the girl a hug.
Yeah.
That's the most there we go. That's the most awkward naked hug ever.
It's
yeah.
extremely awkward.
Is there a live studio audience?
I don't know. If there is, they weren't shown. No, I don't think there was. Yeah, because they just walked out through curtains.
So, so strange. It's just a room then with like a camera crew and people in boxes with their dicks out.
No, they're not in boxers. They're completely naked.
Boxes. I mean pods.
Oh yes. Yeah, they're in like glass cylinders.
That has to be so bizarre.
It is bizarre.
Jeez. We make fun of Japanese game shows, but then this thing is going on in Britain and people, well, at least I don't hear about it.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. It's really wild. God damn, I can't believe I never thought to talk about that on the podcast. I don't even remember when it was that I saw it. I can't remember. It was crazy.
You know how some anime is censored for broadcast and then uncensored for the Blu-rays? I saw a dick in anime on Twitter and it was surreal because male fan service seems to be super rare in anime. Yeah, it is super rare.
They know their target audience. And also the name of the show is Naked Attraction. Good.
Oh, Naked Attraction. Okay, well,
well remembered, Ginger Beer.
Fatal, it's almost like Fatal Attraction, like that movie from the 80s starring Michael Douglas.
I have not seen it.
I think. Yeah, it's just 80s. 80s were a wild
Are there a
time.
bunch of dudes in pods?
No, that's a porn version of Aliens. Speaking of like guys and girls in anime and fan service, there's this game that just came out on Steam called AU Senki: The World Conquest.
Okay.
Right. And because I play all these stupid dating games on Steam of course goes ahead and recommends this to me. And it is a pornographic game, but of course on Steam they've removed all the porno scene, so there's just a strategy game basically. But
So they took a porn game, put it on Steam, and just took out the porn parts?
from what I understand, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild. Okay.
So I thought it was just a straight up strategy game.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't know it was a porn game because it came out on PlayStation a while ago, and I thought, hey, you know what? If it came out on PlayStation, it cannot be pornographic, right? But no, it was a porn game at first.
Okay.
So when I read the description of this game, it sounded more and more strange, weird. It says, okay, AU Senki takes you on adventures to the ends of the earth. You meet unique characters inspired from real historical figures, like mythological icons like King Arthur, and the Knights of the Round Table, Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, Rasputin, Kamehameha, Hawaii, Aristotle, and many more. The thing is, I think they're all women in this game. I actually think they changed them all to like cute anime girls.
What?
Yeah,
What?
I'm not kidding about this.
Okay.
Yeah, and
What's the name of this one more time for our audience in case they want to look this up?
Okay, it's AUEIYU Senki, Senki. AU Senki.
Okay.
And so I started looking up, like I was trying to figure out what the hell is this, right? So of course there is a patch to restore the dirty scenes, and I didn't buy this game, so of course I didn't download this patch. But I wish I kept the patch notes because the patch notes are really odd. They're like, okay, restore the scene in which you have a threesome with Gandhi and Christopher Columbus.
Wow.
I know, right?
This actually sounds like the best game in the world.
Well, if you want to learn history,
Yeah, exactly.
that's how you keep.
Do they also have a
attention.
realistic rendering of the inside of the Egyptian pyramids?
No, they have some realistic renderings of insides, alright, but you have to get a patch for that.
Good. Oh man, well, what a game! That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Future game of the week.
yeah. God. How much is this? It's $24. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wish I kept the patch notes because I was just kind of like running around doing stuff at the time. But if I do find the patch notes, I'll talk about them.
Okay. Man.
I need to buy this game, Ginger Beer says.
So speaking of really bizarre media involving historical figures, there's a new movie coming out soon called Backseat, which is like a Dick Cheney biography. And Christian Bale is playing Dick Cheney. Christian Bale is playing Dick Cheney. And
West W.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were a quail.
You thought you were a quail.
This fucking guy, it's so bizarre. You gotta look this up. Christian Bale has revealed his new look. He's shaved his head, he's put on many pounds, and is playing Dick Cheney, and he just looks fucking nothing like he did in Batman, and it's bizarre.
What? Why Christian Bale though?
I
like
could not tell you. That is one of the most bizarre casting choices I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I just don't understand. You know, there's so many great character actors. I'm not saying Christian Bale is not a great character actor.
Yeah.
I mean, but I've never seen his movies really, even the Batman ones. But why him? When there's so many other actors out there, I don't get it.
Yeah, like, why tell this guy, hey, attempt to transform yourself into the polar opposite of what you are, rather than just choosing a fat, bald guy to play Dick Cheney? Like, what?
Yeah.
Also, Sam Rockwell is playing George W. Bush, which is fucking hilarious.
I don't know who Stan Rockwell is.
I know him as Zaphod Breeblebox in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie.
Oh, that's also quite a difference.
Yeah, real different. So yeah, that's just going to be a wild time, I think. I really actually want to see this movie. It's one of the most bizarre fucking things I've ever seen.
I don't know if I want to see it, but I'm somehow glad it exists.
Yeah. My favorite, the way I found out about this was Pixelated Boat is a really good Twitter account he draws comics sometimes, but mostly just shit posts. And he said all he wants out of the Dick Cheney movie is for it to start with him shooting his friend in the face and then a record scratch. Yep, that's me.
Okay. I want it to be like this. I want to go off of this, like Pixelated Boat's tweet. You know, it starts with him shooting the guy in the face. There's a record scratch. And then it flashes back and it's a biopic It's actually a biopic of Christian Bale. He's playing Batman, and then somebody comes up to him. Would you like to play Dick Cheney?
And just go deeper.
It's a secret movie. Yeah.
Oh man, that would be pretty good.
Oh God. Yeah. If you're a Dick Cheney, if you for some reason you want to watch Batman turning into Dick Cheney, it's a thing that will exist. When? Do you know?
2018, I believe. I don't know if there's a release date yet.
Yeah, just in time for the 10th year anniversary of Dick Cheney's last year in office.
Yeah.
So there you go. Alrighty, we have hit 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Talking about all kinds of stuff, as usual.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the game of the week.
Yeah. Game of the week is Hand of Fate 2. It's a deck building roguelike action play thing. Wow, I'm good at talking today. Why don't you describe it? Action play thing.
Hand of Fate 2 is the latest in the action play thing genre.
Yeah.
It's got roguelite elements, but it's interesting for a roguelite in that it's delineated into distinct little campaigns. So once you beat one, you can go on to the next one and restart from that point. So it's not, when a lot of people think roguelite, they think like you have to beat the whole game in one playthrough, and that's not the case at all. It's a series of distinct small roguelikes, you could say. But the way it works is as you play, you earn more cards, and the cards can represent equipment that can be found in the world. They can also represent encounters you might find, and there are also companions who go with you. And so every time you start a new one of these campaigns, you build your decks. You choose your companion card, and then you choose what kind of equipment would you like to find in the world. Maybe you like to find dual daggers. Maybe you like to find a big old hammer, and then you choose the encounters you want, and then the pools of possible cards that you encounter in the game are then based upon these decks that you've built. So it's a really unique system for a game. It is the second in the series. Hand of Fate 1 worked in a pretty similar way, but Hand of Fate 2 has a much thicker layer of polish on it. It's just very, very smooth and well done. And it's also got action combat kind of in the vein of, I compared it to Assassin's Creed or Shadow of Mordor, but maybe a little bit more boring than those games, in my opinion. I feel like the combat doesn't really shine, but the actual, going from card to card and doing card encounters and just reading the flavor text on the cards, that part I feel was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that struck me, and I'm sure it strikes a lot of people, is just how good the aesthetics of the game are. From the visuals, the whole theme about playing cards with this dealer, to the voice acting and the music. It's very atmospheric. And when we were streaming this, actually, somebody in this chat was saying, they were looking for a game that was kind of like D&D without real people in it. And this seemed like the kind of game. And I can see that because it's almost like you are playing with somebody dealing cards with you and they're just going to fantasy encounters.
Definitely. Yeah, it feels like you're playing with a dungeon master, because that's effectively the role this other person at the table takes on. And it's got a lot of really great graphics. Like he's kind of like doing psychic powers stuff, so he's just waving his hands and cards are flying around and moving in the air, and just lots of really neat effects that really kind of sell the idea that you're sitting in a cart with this weird old guy who's magical and is playing a card game with you. And and the whole thing has a vaguely like sinister overtone to it, but I haven't really found out what that's about yet.
Yeah, I think is it true that the dealer from this game is actually the main character from the first game? I think they said something along those lines.
I didn't know that. I'm pretty sure it's the same dealer from the first game, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the marketing material somewhere, but I could have been mistaken there.
I could be mistaken too, but I thought it was the same dude. I thought it was the same voice actor as the first game, but I could be wrong.
Well, I think it could be the same voice actor. the first one did such a good job, then they would want to bring that person back.
Yeah. So it's very excellent. It's for a roguelike, it's interesting because it's very written for a roguelike because every self-contained campaign is short enough that it's got its own set story and everything. So it's not like, everything's procedurally generated and crazy. Like you go through distinct stories and kind of learn more about the world you're in as you go. So the procedural elements are very much just tied to the cards that you choose. So it's a much more focused version of a roguelite than most, I think, which is interesting and good.
Yeah.
It gives you a better story than I think you would often get.
Yeah, I didn't really think about this, but the design of the game is quite interesting. It's well done. Like just the overall concept of it.
Yeah. So this is a game I really enjoyed. It's a little pricey. It's $30, and I think it's on sale. Might not be by the time the podcast goes up, but it's got an opening sale of a few bucks off. But yeah, it's $30. I think if this game is up your alley, it's perfectly worth it. But that is something to consider. This is not like a $5 to $10 indie game. This is a serious business big boy game. But I think it's very good.
I mean, it's reflective. The presentation quality, I guess you would say. And it's reflective of the premium price.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah, it's really well put together. Like just everything in the game is kind of designed to give you a certain experience, and it's very, the art direction and sound direction and game design direction are all in really good harmony. So yeah, I very much enjoy this game. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I didn't get to play much of it. I played more last night after the stream. I mean, no, I played more last night is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would highly recommend it. I will say at this point, of course, because I should be better at doing this, that the game was actually sent to us for free by the developers. So in interest of full disclosure. But even then, I still think it's a great game.
Sure. It's not like we're getting bribed. We always accept games under the understanding that we can say whatever we want about them, so you don't have to worry about that. But I genuinely think that Hand of Fate is very good. I really enjoyed Hand of Fate 1, and Hand of Fate 2 I think is a significant step up.
Yeah. I will say also, I forgot to say about this. It has like 22 chapters. So it's a pretty meaty game.
Yes, it is.
Actually.
Yeah,
so,
I've gotten
through, you're paying $30, but
I've gotten through like 4 chapters, I think, and one of those is actually the tutorial, and a few more are pretty tutorial-y. I don't think I've actually gotten to the meat of the game. From what I've heard, Katie, my girlfriend, watched a streamer go through the whole game, and she said it gets much more challenging toward the end. So I barely scratched the surface, and I've played about 2 hours.
I think Northern Lion said something along those lines on Twitter as well. So
yeah, it starts out very easy. It starts out just kind of a fun little jaunt through a card game, but I don't think it stays that forever.
Right. Okay, well, I guess my final statement is that it's worth a look. Certainly, I mean, if you think $30 is a little steep, then just wait for it to go on sale.
Sure.
But either way, if you like these kinds of games, or if this concept just sounds appealing to you, then I think you will enjoy it.
I think it's worth a look for sure. Next week's Game of the Week is going to be Dead Cells. I spoke to the developer of Dead Cells at TwitchCon, and he told me that there's a biggest update in the history of the game update coming out mid-November, and that update has released today, the day we're recording this podcast, which is Wednesday. So that's going to be out. Zed and I are going to take that opportunity to dive in and check it out, and we'll be playing that next Monday at 7:30 p.m. PST, and that's going to be on the next podcast, our Game of the Week. So check that out. Dead Cells is basically 2D. Imagine if you crossed Dark Souls with Castlevania, like one of the later Castlevania games, like Aria of Sorrow. That's basically what it plays like. It's very, very, very good. And it's also procedurally generated, so it's got that element in there as well.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, I was going to say actually before we go out here that we are a little bit like short in terms of our our run through, and I'm going to return to AU Sankey for a bit because I wanted to give a little bit of a postscript on that.
Okay.
There's a pinned item on the discussion board.
Okay.
And it says best waifu for Steam trading cards, in which they're talking about what is your best waifu you think you want to put on a trading card. This was the developer posting this. So yeah, they're pretty clued in to what people are really playing this game for.
I mean, they turned a bunch of historical figures into anime girls. Yep. I think they know.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I'm looking at pictures. I'm not going to post it because somebody posted a gallery of all the pictures. It's actually not safe for work.
Excellent.
But I was just curious. Yeah, I was just curious about how they're depicted. Magellan is a girl in a swimsuit for some reason. That's historical.
Yeah.
Galileo is a piratey girl with a cannon and a giant rabbit head. There's Geronimo as well for some reason. So
and these are all not safe for work pictures. You're saying?
No. Some of them.
Many of them.
Well, most of them are actually safe for work. Some of them are just completely naked, topless, like Asoka, who was a king of India but now is a topless woman. John, oh my God, Jean d'Arc or Joan of Arc. She is not actually fan servicey. She's got like sword and armor and stuff, but she's got angel wings on her back.
Huh.
Oh no, because she's a martyr who burned to death.
Yeah,
so she's dead.
Sure.
We have Kublai Khan and Marco Polo kissing for some reason. Well, for some reason, yeah.
Good. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Leonardo da Vinci is wearing an apron with like all kinds of things associated with his artwork, like a chisel and a pen and stuff. She's only wearing that apron.
Good.
Jesus Christ.
Good.
Lubu is in the game. How many characters are there? Merlin is a rabbit for some reason. And Napoleon... Nero, Roman Emperor Nero, I'm guessing, is a magical girl much like Sailor Moon with a magic wand.
Okay.
Yep. And Percival the Knight is a serving girl in a rabbit suit who serves beer.
What? Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, this all makes perfect sense.
This all makes perfect sense. It sounds like the knockoff version of Fate. I don't know what Fate is. I do, but I haven't done much anything with the Fate series. Yeah, I guess that's it. Holy shit. Wow.
Well, kids,
that's how you get your history.
Yeah. Make sure to play this game if you want a thorough view of the history of the world through anime women.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Okay, well.
I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to make your way over to Zen's channel, youtube.com/Zen and Cyrene, for his full playthrough of this game. What's it called one more time?
Which game?
The one you're talking about.
Oh, AU Senki, and I'm not playing this game on YouTube.
He's not actually going to do it, but he should. Go to his YouTube channel and yell at him about it. Anyway, also make sure to... I guess that's it. Subscribe to Zen on youtube.com/Zen and Cyrene. I don't know where I was going. I felt like there was something else I had to announce that I forgot. But come back on Monday. We're going to be doing Dead Cells, 7:30 p.m. PST on twitch.tv/Green9090. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.